Are cheap impact drivers worth it? So when I say cheap impact drivers, I'm not talking about your big name brands. My big brand that my go-to brand is the yellow DeWalt. However, when I say cheap, I'm more specifically talking about Harbor Freight. This is the Bauer brand from Harbor Freight. This is the Hercules brand from Harbor Freight. And these are both impact drivers. This is the Quick Connect hex impact driver that you would use like for a drill bit or impact bit like that. And then this is a 1/2-inch drive torque impact driver. So again, are they worth it? Is it worth buying the off brands versus spending more money on the bigger name brands? And I think the answer is absolutely yes, they are worth it if you are a hobbyist to intermediately sized wood shop or mechanic shop, if that's what you do. So let's talk about this Bauer impact driver specifically for a second. I have had this for about 1.5 years and I still have no issues with it. In fact, I use it almost every single day. When I purchased this, it came with the unit itself. It did not come with this bit. It just came with the unit, a battery, and a charger. The battery life on this, in my opinion, holds just as long as all of my DeWalt batteries. The battery specs on this are 1.5 amp hour, 20 volt. The battery goes in and comes out very nicely. It snaps in place. It doesn't feel brittle. It doesn't feel cheap. Again, it comes in and out with ease, but also stays in place when you want it to stay in place. The grip on this is very nice. It does not feel cheap. It feels sturdy. It feels durable. It feels very similar to the other big name brands. The overall fit and finish of this, honestly, if I were to close my eyes and pick this up, I probably could not tell you that this was a Harbor Freight brand. It feels just very nice, solid, compact. The grip, the ergonomics of it feel very similar to, again, all the other big brands. The direction of the drive switch here, the indicator, so you can obviously put it on reverse, forward, or in the middle, that feels a little different than the bigger brands. I don't think I would say that it feels cheaper. It just feels different, but there is a positive stop and a positive click, so there's no question of which way the drive is running. When you're using this, the sound and sensitivity and feeling of using it feels very similar to the other ones. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it lags. It doesn't have a weird smell. Sometimes drives like this can have a weird, almost like an electrical burning smell, and they can even sound like a little bit more grindy, if you will. But this one does not. And for comparison, sizes of the two next to each other, you can kind of see they're almost identical in height. They're almost identical in thickness this way, and then the Bauer is just a little bit longer front to back. The chuck or quick connect on this, the spring back seems very nice. It holds the bits in with no problem. It's not like that's a cheap mishap that lets that bit slide out. It's very locked in, and again, it's knurled on here so you can grab it and it springs back. You pull it out, put your bit in, let go, it springs back just fine. The biggest concern I would have if I was looking to purchase a cheaper quality tool like this would be its battery life. But again, I have had no issues with that. I use this almost every single day in my other side of the shop because over here is all my DeWalt tools and my DeWalt batteries. The other side, I just keep a battery charger for this and this tool specifically so that I'm not mixing up my DeWalts and forgetting where the DeWalt tool was left. So this stays on the other side of the shop and I use it all the time. Now, with that said, I would be considered a hobbyist to intermediate size wood shop. This is not a professional production wood shop. If you are in the production world, it may be worth upgrading to something a little bit nicer, a little bit more well-known brand, right? Not a lower end budget brand. However, again, a lot of the fits and finishes of this are very similar to the big brands. Moving over to the 1/2-inch drive. So the reason that I bought this is because I needed something to break loose lug nuts with. And I have another brand pneumatic impact that just doesn't have enough strength behind it. This has plenty of strength behind it. I bought the Hercules brand because it came with the drive itself, the tool, it came with the battery and it came with the charger, and it was $250 cheaper than the next cheapest brand that you can get at the big box stores like Lowe's or Home Depot. Again, this is from Harbor Freight. So the battery does have a indicator on the front as far as how much battery life is remaining on that. Once you put it on here on the drill itself, there is a torque indicator, a setting indicator. You can select which setting, which strength you would like. Similar situation here. This is very heavy duty. In fact, you would get tired of holding this like this all day. It's has a lot of weight to it. The fits and finishes on it are that you would see with Milwaukee or DeWalt. And the sound, very similar. Ultra torque is what's printed on the side. I believe it because I have broken loose lug nuts that I could not get by hand with a cheater bar. This can break loose, not a problem. The forward and reverse indication for the direction of the drive, again, snaps in place very smoothly. The battery locks in place very smoothly, comes out very smoothly, but again, stays put when you need it to. It doesn't feel like it wants to wobble out or break loose because it's cheap plastic. Harbor Freight has came a long way with their tools, and I absolutely would recommend this if you are needing one. Again, for me, this is something that I do not use every day. If I owned a tire shop and I was breaking loose and tightening lug nuts every single day of the week to make a living, I may consider something else. But again, for a couple $100 cheaper, I can afford to replace this at least 1.5 times before I spend the money on the next closest big brand. So are cheap impact drivers worth it? To summarize, yes, they are. If you're doing this for a living every day, maybe consider something different, but maybe not. These, I think, will do the job for the price that you pay. I hope to do more tool videos like this because I love tools. Hope you enjoyed watching. Hit the like button down below. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Take care.